This is Face the Music, a pre-ELO song-by-song podcast. Episode -014, The Duke of Edinburgh's Lettuce. What's that song all about?
The Duke of Edinburgh's Lettuce is the eighth and mercifully the final track on side 2 of the Move's third studio album, Looking On, released on December the 11th, 1970. It was written by Roy Wood and Jeff Lynne. The song was an unlisted hidden track tacked on at the end of Feel Too Good. In the January of 2008 remaster liner notes for Looking On, Mark Patras wrote,
Feel Too Good ends when both Wood and Lynne embark on the originally uncredited Duke of Edinburgh's Lettuce, with voices that veer from daft to doo-wop to opera.
Hold the pickles, hold the lettuce, special orders will not test.
Hi, I'm Eric Winsenson.
Oops.
And that's Oops.
Yes, and I'm Oops, which actually is kind of true. I wasn't intended to be here, a little oopsie doodle back in 1968, and 55 years later. I'm Eric Paul Johnson.
And this is the Duke of Edinburgh's Lettuce.
Edinburgh's.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh?
How do they pronounce it in the song? It's normally everybody from Scotland has told me Edinburgh. I know we have a couple of Scottish listeners, so they'll probably correct both of us.
They'll like you and they'll hate me, or the other way around, or it really won't make any difference. They'll still hate you and like me.
Just say we're both wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duke of Edinburgh's Lettuce, if I'm reading it like an American does anyway.
Well, somebody will tell us.
Yeah.
You're both idiots.
How's that different from any other week?
We start off with a little doo-wop, then some piano, or does the opera come before the piano?
Opera before piano.
Choir singing, or whatever it is, before the piano.
Choir of Woods and Lynn's before piano.
And then we have a babbling old man. And that's it for the album.
Pretty much.
Basically, just a little hidden track to close things out and remind us that, hey, we still wish it was 1968.
Or 1958.
Yeah. The Move were starting to get with the times, but yeah, that would be the next album, I believe, that they'd realize what decade it was.
Well, that Roy Wood would. Jeff Lynne seemed to figure it out with what?
Yeah. So, this is one of those things where I can't really rate it or say anything too much about it other than, okay, album's over.
There it is, yeah. I love the song. And this is why I love the song. Because it's short. After 900 long songs, some of them that went off in weird directions or went off in directions that didn't need to go, or just kept doing the same thing over and over again for 8 minutes, I love that it's 1:17. It's got some catchy doo-wop stuff going on. I love that doo-wop thing. And it's got a silly piano thing that makes me think it's in some dance hall with dancers or strippers up on the stage and an old man hollering at them to show him their lettuce, which, from what I read on the database, is slang for a lady's fun zone, which never occurred to me to call it lettuce, but, you know, the 60s were a wild time. That's why I love it. If it wasn't for 247 long songs before this, I would think, it's kind of amusing. I like it. I'd add it to a playlist just for an amusing 1:17 break. Otherwise, it's there. It's kind of silly. And that would be it. But considering what came before it, It's such a relief that, oh, there it is. And it didn't offend my ears in any way whatsoever, and it was short. It was very short. Thank you for the break from the long songs that hurt my ears with loud wah-wahs and exploding crumb horns and sitars. There's no sitars here either. So, thank you for the break.
Oh, there needs to be sitars and crumb horns and oh my.
Oh my, no.
And somebody's sitting there going, oh my.
Yeah, if they had George Takei, yeah, that'd be great. Maybe I would have liked those longer songs. Maybe they found a way to work in George Takei. Or better yet, William Shatner. Considering the vocal stylings that the Shat had at the time. Do we have anything else to say about the song?
No, not a whole lot to say about this.
Got something to say about the Duke of Edinburgh's lettuce? Well, call the telephone line voicemail.
623-850-3375. Call now. My girl's pussy.
While we're waiting for George and Gracie to return, let me suggest an easy way to give your family a grand supper. Serve Spam and salad. Get a can of Spam when you shop tomorrow. Open and slice this tender, delicious meat. A perfect companion for your favorite salad. You'll say it's great, too, because Spam is economical to use, so easy to fix. Surprise your family with Spam and salad tomorrow.
You get swell extras when you subscribe at patreon.com/ELOpod. For $1, $2, or $3 a show, you get expanded episodes that include more conversation, discussion about remakes, and other goodies you can only hear in the expanded episodes through a Patreon subscription. Plus, no commercials. Give us lots of money at patreon.com/ELOpod.
And on that joyous note, let us get on with the show.
I don't mind the long songs as much as you do.
Yeah.
But I think I made my point clear about I like songs that start to differ from what they were, and I think too much of this is an inferior retread of Shazam. They may be originals, but they're using the same pattern way, way too often. The same instruments in the same places way, way too often. That's why both of Jeff Lynne's songs on here were a breath of fresh air. I liked a good portion of it, but compared to Shazam, it is a major, major step down. I like the first album better than this, to tell you the truth. As messy as that first album is.
How many stars?
I'm torn between 3 to 3.5. It's not a horrible album, but I know some of the stuff from Message from the Country. I haven't heard the full album, but I know some of the stuff there, and I know some of the stuff from Shazam. This just really is like, this happened. Yeah.
Yeah, it did. I'd give it 2.5 stars. If the album was just What, I would give it 900 stars. What is fantastic. I like Looking On. I like Turkish Tram Blues.
Which, I like that one more when I heard it again. That one grows a little bit.
Yeah. What is fan-friggin-tastic. It is the best song on the album. And then it's followed by songs I was so glad to be done with hearing once I finished putting together that episode. And Edinburgh's Lettuce. It's cute and amusing. But one 900-star song and a cute and amusing song does not turn a 2.5-star album into a 5-star album. So What, as fantastic as it was, does not save the album.
Yeah, the other Jeff Lynne one, I like that one quite a bit too. Let Me In, or whatever it was.
Open up the doors, knocking at the world, or something like that.
Yeah, the world's knocking. The world's here to knock you up.
I am so glad that we're done with this album. I am really glad we're done with this album. I am looking forward to Message from the Country. I know a fistful of songs from that, and I like those fistful of songs from that album.
And a fistful of singles that ended up on Split Ends, along with most of Message from the Country.
Yeah, and which I also, there are those that I really love.
Great moments in pre-ELO history.
Apart from the personality conflicts, there were also musical differences within the group, and when Carl Wayne left to pursue a solo career in cabaret, Roy was able to bring into the group fellow Birmingham songwriter and musician Jeff Lynne. He'd been for many years the mainstay of a group called The Idle Race, who had made many fine records but never achieved any real success. Apart from his musical prowess, Roy really rated Jeff's songwriting ability and felt that they'd be able to bounce ideas off each other for a new project he had in mind. But initially they concentrated on The Move. Was it true to say, Roy, that your experimental ideas, that was something you were going to adapt for The Move at the time?
Yes, it was, yeah.
And gradually as it became more than just an idea, and you got together with Jeff, at what point did you see that this could be a completely different band?
Well, I was sort of really forced to make it a different band because the only other choice I would have had would be to augment The Move, which would have meant that The Move would have been there as a nucleus, as the band, and the other blokes would have been just session men and wouldn't have had any identity as a band, which, I mean, bands had done that before, concerts with orchestras and things like that, you know. But I wanted actual people in the band as members to do that. You know, so I had to make it a completely different concept, really, and sort of have a different band, different name and everything.
Face the Music, a pre-ELO song-by-song podcast, is a production of Radio Trolla Entertainment Assorted Deli Meats Amalgamated. You can contact us by voicemail at 623-850-3375 or email us at eloftmpodcast@gmail.com and we'll read and reply to it on the show. Keep up to date by joining our Facebook group and spread the word by sharing the link or giving us a quick rating on iTunes. Subscribe to our YouTube page, the Electric Light Orchestra Podcast channel, to hear other goodies. You can financially support the podcast at patreon.com/ELOpod or PayPal using the podcast's email address, or send a check or money order to P.O. Box 1932, Superior, Arizona 85173. Next episode, -013 tonight.
But, yeah.
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 Okay, I'm shutting off the recording.
Yeah, I think we're done here.